This video is different from the one I usually post. This isn't about video marketing. It's not about social media or brand strategy. But there's something on my heart that needs to get out right now. When I was a kid, I played football in youth league, middle school, and high school. And if there was one thing I could change from back then, it's this. You see, my coaches kept telling me the same thing. Chad, you're way too nice on the field. And I understood that. I couldn't flip the switch. I couldn't be one guy at church on Sunday and then another guy on the field Monday through Friday. I was 6'4" and about 250 pounds my junior year of high school. So if I had been able to flip that switch, there's no telling what I could have done. You see, I was taught in a Southern Baptist church that being a Christian meant being nice, to turn the other cheek, don't cause problems, keep the peace. At least that's how I heard it, right? So that's what I did. And I even took it up a level. I avoided conflict everywhere, on the field, in relationships, in business, and in difficult conversations. If things got tense, I always found a way out. And that was borderline being too nice and kind of a coward. And it took me way too long to figure this out. I thought at the time I was being peaceful, but I wasn't. I was being passive. And those are two very different things. And I don't think I'm the only one. You see, a lot of us was raised this way. We were told that gentle means soft, that meek means weak, and that a godly man doesn't raise his voice, doesn't push back, doesn't fight. So we don't. We stay quiet when we should speak up. We dodge the hard talks to keep the peace. We'd let stuff slide at home, at work, and in our community. And we tell ourselves it's the Christian thing to do. But let me show you Jesus most of us didn't learn about. Jesus flipped over tables in the temple. He called out religious leaders in the public. He even told his guys to go buy a sword. He flat out said, I did not come to bring peace, but a sword. Now, does that sound like a guy who runs from conflict? Nah. That's a guy who walks right into it. And that's someone who walks into it on purpose. And while we've been busy being nice, the world's gotten a lot more dangerous. Just last week, people stormed a church in Minnesota during a Sunday service. Kids were there with their families, and they were scared. They walked right in and shut it down because one of the pastors works for ICE. And this happened here in America. And around the world, almost 5,000 Christians were killed just for their faith last year. 380 million face some kind of trouble for being Christian in 2024. That's 1 out of every 7 believers on the planet. Here at home, attacks on churches went from 50 in 2018 to over 400 in 23 and 24. There's shooting at churches, at schools, and at places where people go to worship God. And way too many of us are still on the sidelines, doing nothing, calling it peace. And here's what finally clicked for me, and it changed everything. Peace and pacifism are two different things. Isaiah 26:3 says, you will keep in perfect peace those whose minds are steadfast, because they trust in you. That phrase, perfect peace, in Hebrew is shalom, shalom. It means nothing bad happens. It means things are whole, stable, in order. Your mind's locked in. You're not freaking out. You're not reacting to every little thing. You're anchored. That's inner peace. And it comes from trusting God, not from your situation. Now, let's look at Matthew 5:9. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they will be called children of God. Did you catch that? He didn't say peace lovers. He didn't say peacekeepers. He said peacemakers. Makers is an action word. It means conflict is already there. Someone has to step in. Someone has to pay a price. A peacemaker walks into the mess and brings order. A peacemaker is strong, but under control. He can handle himself, but he uses wisdom to decide when and how. That's the Jesus we follow. He showed up. He spoke up when it was time. He stayed quiet when that was the move. At the cross, he let them kill him. Why? Because that moment called for sacrifice, not a fight. That's wisdom. That's knowing when to do what. And here's the sentence that I keep coming back to. Peace is strength that holds back for the sake of love. Pacifism is doing nothing for the sake of comfort. So, what do we do with this? We stop mixing up running away with being godly. As men, we're called to protect our families, our faith, what we believe in. And we do that with courage, with wisdom, with showing up, not with anger, not with ego. Maybe for you, that means having the talk you've been ducking. Maybe it means setting a line that's going to tick someone off. Maybe it means saying what's true calmly and clearly, even if people don't like it. And maybe it means getting your mind and body ready, not to go looking for trouble, but to stop pretending evil isn't real. So here's a question, and be honest with yourself. Am I avoiding this to protect someone else? Or am I avoiding it to protect me? If it's the first one, you might be going after real peace. And if it's the second, that's fear dressed up in a Bible verse. I don't want to tell you what to do, but I'd push you to look at where you've gone soft. I did, and it's a hard look. And ask God where he's calling you to stand up. I have found mine. Where's he calling you? Think about what it would look like if Christian men stopped saying sorry for what they believe and started living it out with guts, with kindness, both. What if we raised sons who got that? That being gentle and being strong actually go together. And what if our families felt safe because someone solid was standing guard? What if our churches were known for being steady, for saying the hard things with love? The world is looking for men who won't fold, men who are locked in, men who step into hard stuff and bring order. That's the call. Peace is strength under control. And the world, it needs more men who get that.